Nightmare Hall number 6, guilty. And hopefully my internet connection is a little bit better now, so please let me know if it's not. Hi Dustin, let me add you in. Please let me know in the comments if my connection's a little bit better now, because I just rebooted the internet. And hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get Dustin on. But yeah, I've got like a little hub extender thing, and it's not working for some reason.
Oh, God, I got lost looking for
Dustin,
you.
you're stuck again in the
I was
garment
like, did
bag.
she go off the internet or is she hiding here so we can go? And I got lost again. This
Again, someone
damn
put you in that
garment
garment
bag.
bag. You must have hit your head and fell straight into the garment
Oh,
bag,
I hit my
and
head a lot nowadays, so that's very possible.
so do
That's
I
no lie.
actually.
I have hit my head so many times in the past month. I'm not kidding. I probably have like no. I probably Mandela affected myself into new dimensions each time. So I'm sorry for the way the world is. That's
Oh, I
that's
love
my
it.
fault. I hit my
Love
head too
it.
many times. That's me. It's on
Oh,
me.
and if you're watching this playback, the garment bag does come into play in this book, then we will be chatting about it. Oh, but thanks for bearing with.
Uh,
I've kind of reset my internet, so thank you for bearing with me. Well, Kevin did. I can't say I did. But I've got like a Wi-Fi extender thing because I'm kind of like
okay.
in the back room here, but it's not working for some reason, so that's probably why it was a bit. Ugh. But
Yeah.
hopefully, I'm good now. And can you see me okay? Better?
Yes. For a second you went
Yay!
pixelated and then you came back. So I was like, okay, thank God.
Oh,
I was like, let's not
fingers
do this again.
crossed. Oh no, if it doesn't work this time, I'll have to go downstairs. But hopefully.
Yeah. Or we're gonna have to get
Oh no,
you.
Dustin, if you.
We're gonna do a GoFundMe and we're just gonna send you like the heaviest Wi-Fi router ever.
Oh, I know. Oh, you've got a bit blurry on me now, but hopefully it's just my side.
Maybe it is. We'll see.
Yeah, let me know in the
Does
comments if you
this
can see me and Dustin.
does it do? I don't know if this does this, but like when we do a live and it like records it, does it like do it as like the backup on your phone, the footage,
Yeah,
and it takes it? Okay, because
yeah.
that's what my podcast stuff does too. When I record my show, and then they'll have the backup on your computer that it'll take from just to make fix any patches that need to be patched, and then it,
Ah, okay.
so
Yeah, it kind of it keeps a recording of it, but it still just keeps it blurry. It doesn't fix it at all. So yeah, not great. Oh yeah,
well,
Sharon said
I'm
Insta.
blurry now.
No,
So
you're
this is
back
an
now.
Instagram
You're
issue,
back.
I think, because
Yeah,
I think it's an Instagram issue.
it's
I
gotta be.
apologize. I look good on my
We're
side.
here,
She looks good on her
looking
side. It's
good.
probably just the Instagram of it all. So if you can handle it, we're gonna keep
Yeah,
going.
yeah, we'll keep going. Sharon said Instagram Live is being upgraded, so that might be why. So yeah,
Yeah.
but if it carries on, yeah,
Okay.
we'll just go for it.
Okay. She
So
says it. We're both clear now. So everybody
yeah,
looks
we're just
good. We're good. All right.
fingers crossed.
Okay. So
So
we're doing Nightmare
yeah,
Hall
Nightmare
again.
Hole, guilty. Whoop whoop whoop. And as I said before, this is our sixth trip to Nightmare Hall. We covered the very first book back in 2021. Look at all them pretty nightmare halls behind Dustin. Yeah, and I can't believe it's 2021 since we did the first one. And previously we was just saying, you're not on Instagram now. You've come back, especially on here for Nightmare
Right.
Hall, because we cannot do a Nightmare Hall without Dusty Bun.
Right.
But you have been working super hard on your podcast, the Rewatch Recap,
Yes.
where we've been doing. I don't know why I said it like that. We've
The
been doing
rewatch recap.
recap. We've been doing Misfit Series 2. And you've been doing Dead Like Me Series 2, and you're on
Yes.
YouTube now as well as the
Yes.
podcast. You can watch and listen.
You
It's
can
like,
watch, and the cool thing is, if you watch, if you don't want to just listen, if you want some visuals, I give you like some screenshots and some anything we might bring
yeah.
up or after, I'll have that come up, and
Yeah.
every so often, especially if you watch the stuff with me and Kay, like she films in a room and there's like a walkway outside the door, so you'll hear like people talking sometimes. I try to get like the filter out, whatever, but sometimes it comes through, so I'll just do random things like put people on green screen walking across the screen, like people are
Yeah.
talking. Or there was one time there was a plane going over her head, and I just put
Yeah.
planes going across the screen and then going back this way. Yeah,
I
it was
love
fun.
that. Oh, you're having so much fun putting them together. I love that. It's brilliant.
Got to keep the visual going. I'm
Yeah,
having I'm
definitely.
having my candy corn, by the way.
Oh, I'm so jealous. Like, we don't get those over here.
I'm gonna have to send you guys some at some point.
Sad.
But a lot of people don't like it. It's like a butterscotch flavor, but it's got like kind of a little bit of a waxy texture.
Yeah.
I grew up with it, so I'm used
Ah.
to it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
they started putting out the candy corn with chocolate on it,
Ooh.
but I've always loved the candy pumpkins that come with it. Those little candy pumpkins with the candy corn. I like these the
Yeah.
most.
Oh, I'm so jealous. So jealous.
But I like to. You can like stick them on your teeth, and you can do like a little vampire thing.
I love
Um,
that. Vampire Dustin is here. Dustin, go, I want to suck your blood. Oh no, you ate them too quick.
I'm sorry,
Oh
never gonna fall
dear.
out.
Melina said, my favourite nightmare hall yet. Ooh, okay. Oh, lots of love for the candy corns as well. Oh, we can get them here. Melina said October 31st website sells candy corn here.
Check and see if it's Brock's, which is Brach, and that's like the best
Oh,
ones. If not, I don't know, but it might be still be good. But I know Brock's is the one I usually get.
oh, okay. I might have to get some of them. Yum, 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 yum. So yeah, so let's get into it then, as I'm severely delayed us
Yes.
all.
Sorry, we're
No.
running behind. Let's stop talking candy corn.
Oh, and internet issues. So as I was saying, the tagline is always the same on the Nightmare Halls, where college is a scream. And funny, that made me jump. Did you see my face? I was like, what was that? Oh dear! I was looking away from the screen when you did that as well. Oh, I was like, what's going on? But I was going to say, you didn't get on the American covers, you didn't get the tagline at all. It
Did we
was
not?
just, no. And I didn't notice this till the other day.
Oh
No
wow.
tagline. Yeah. So I was
We
like,
just get the
oh.
we get that same description in the back. That's about
Yeah.
it.
And then the cool, like, window cover. Which,
Yeah.
considering there's a flaw in this, right? Because considering this is like a window of a campus, you're
Why?
meant to be looking
Why is this an
in.
aquarium all of a sudden? Apparently, the dorm is an aquarium now.
bit of a flaw there.
Yeah. Well, there's one. There's
Oh,
like a huge spider. So it's like, yeah. I saw like the cover of one. There's like a huge spider crawling across the building. I'm like, that's
oh.
all right. What's going on there?
We'll just go with it. It's Nightmare
We'll
Hall.
see.
So you can read these books as standalone books in any order. Then you just get some like cameos from maybe some of the other characters.
Hmm.
And obviously Nightmare Hall or Nightingale Hall, as it should be properly known, high up on the hillside is always
Yeah.
there as well. So this one is about when Katie's boyfriend is killed in a tragic accident. She knows nothing will ever be the same again. Could she have prevented the accident? Was it her fault? Somebody thinks Katie's guilty, and somebody thinks her only punishment should be death. Yeah, yeah, very serious. um, so obviously, we at the very beginning we get like a creepy prologue. So we get a killer's point of view prologue saying that
Yeah.
she had a fair hearing, but she had been found guilty. Guilty. Clue is in
They
there.
love to start off these books now with like the killer stalking or talking
Yeah.
about how the person they're going to get is deserving of it somehow.
That's what I was going to ask you. Do you like the book starting off with like a creepy prologue like that, so you get like an insight into the killer's perspective, or?
Kind of. It kind of gives you a hint of what does she do? Oh, what happened? And then
Mm.
you get that in the first chapter, and you're like, oh, now somebody's pissed about this. So,
Yeah.
That's about,
Yeah.
that's about all it does for me. I'm like, oh, okay, well, what'd they do?
I quite like it because, like, when I get to the end of the book, I go back and read like the prologue just to see if I
Mm,
can figure if it fits properly. And I feel like this prologue was said maybe after one of the incidents that happens in the book rather than where, at the beginning of the story. Oh, well, obviously I know
yeah,
it's not the beginning of the story, but you know what I mean.
right.
I think it was after the attic incident, just because, like, I don't know,
Probably.
just get a feeling.
Well, because it says it should take place at Nightmare Hall or right before that.
Oh yeah.
Because yeah. Well,
Yeah.
wait. Then she went back for the birthday party.
Yeah, with
So
the
it could
happy
be either way.
birthday. Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be. But yeah, so
But
I'm
at
like,
least they went to Nightmare Hall
yeah,
in this
I was
book.
gonna, I was gonna say that we
And they
finally,
didn't just mention it.
after book one, which was obviously Nightmare Hall prominent, we actually get Nightmare Hall in this book for the first time in 6 books. Well, five
Yeah.
books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not just saying, hey, there's a place on campus that's cursed. No, the whole campus is cursed, apparently. I mean, you keep blaming this place, but no, it's the whole place.
No, and we actually get to go back to Nightmare Hall and we see
Yeah.
the house mother again, and obviously
Yeah.
Linda who lives there. Which, if you hadn't read the first book, it doesn't take anything away from this story, but it was just like seeing old friends, wasn't it?
I
Yeah.
kind of wish somebody would put up a Nightmare Hall timeline of when each
Oh,
book happens. Like from
yeah,
what they figured out based on like the characters that they pass and things that have been
yeah.
mentioned. I kind of want
Maybe
to
we
know.
might have to try and do that,
And I hate that Diane
Maybe.
Ho isn't around anymore, but I wish
Mm.
she would have done something like that. That would have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been
Oh well.
cool. Although, see, I don't think this was, and I have my reasons. I don't think this was an authentic Diane Ho because
Oh
I
really?
know, yeah, I could be wrong, but my theory in this is obviously in the front of the Nightmare Halls, it normally does say if it's like Nola Thacker or Barbara Steiner. Um,
Okay.
but
I don't think mine ever says that.
yeah, I think in The Roommate, I think it said Nola Thacker,
Hmm.
and Scream Team, I think that was Nola Thacker as well. But this one, I don't know. I didn't feel like it felt like Diane Ho's writing, which we'll get into. But also as well, all of Diane's Nightmare Hall books are available on Kindle, except for the ones that were ghostwritten, and this one isn't available on Kindle. So I'm like, suspicious. So
Huh.
that's my 2 pennies worth on
Well,
it
we
anyway.
know she wrote the first one, and that one did
Yeah,
take place at Nightmare Hall. And this
yeah,
one actually has parts that take place at Nightmare
yeah.
Hall. So
I
that's a
don't know.
that's a lean in the direction for her, maybe.
Yeah,
But then, like you're
maybe.
saying, there's little
Yeah,
things like, and it doesn't
yeah,
say that it was written by somebody else, but the evidence you're saying, like maybe, or maybe somebody just
yeah.
got their information wrong and they didn't get the right, they forgot one book. You never
Yeah,
know.
could have been. Yeah, yeah. I was just a bit like, I wonder. Eddie May said, I have to say this in case I have to leave to take care of Dad at Nightmare Hall. Do you remember in The Roommate and accidentally went, Welcome to Nightmare Hall? Or something like that. Oh dear. Um, Larissa said,
Yeah.
carry a window wherever you go. Part of the Salem University welcome pack. Yeah.
Or just
Claire,
put a picture frame around your head. That's enough.
that's what we should have done, really, shouldn't
We
we?
should have been like, yeah,
Oh, I've got
in this
lipstick on my
window.
teeth. I've been out today, so I've got all this lipstick everywhere. Yeah, I got it. Shannon said Kit annoyed me a little to begin with, but I liked her eventually. Oh, okay, we'll get into Kit/Katie in a minute. Um, Matthew said I was pulling for the garment bag by the middle of the book. I didn't like Kit or Katie at
I have
all.
questions about this garment bag, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. So okay, let's talk about Kit. So let's talk about Kit slash Katie at the start of the book. So obviously we
Right.
open up at orientation where the gang all meet. Brownie has these like really corny pickup lines that apparently Kit loves. And the group kind of become firm friends after this. And they have a wonderful few weeks together. So when we first met Kit, what did you think of her? Did you like her in that moment?
She was kind of meh. She didn't have much going for her. She's all timid and shy. And I understand
Yeah.
that to a degree, but you had your best friend as the outgoing one, and you're always doing stuff together, but yet you're the timid. How would you not come out of your shell just a little?
Yeah.
Having that in your it just doesn't make sense. Like,
Yeah.
eh, unless they really amped up, like they really were like, don't mess with her. Like they were like
Yeah.
very protective over you and sheltering
Yeah.
you, and that's the only thing I can think of. Otherwise, just, like, come out of your shell, girl. Like,
Yeah. I thought the same. I was like, because they really did emphasize, obviously for reasons that we find out, after the accident happens that she then changes, but they really emphasized how shy she was.
mm,
And then they put her obviously with Luann as a roommate, and she's really bubbly and outgoing as well. So it just felt like all of her friends were like bubbly and outgoing, and she was just like the shy one in the background to start with.
yeah,
Mm,
just not confident or anything, and
no, no,
not fun either. Like, I get like
no.
some of the stuff Brownie did was kind of like okay, but at
Mm,
the same time, come on.
yeah.
I don't want to. No, like, okay. But yeah, I kind of wish though we had seen like we kind of get a picture, a visual of her on the cover. Like that's supposed to be
Mm,
her, even though her
yeah,
hair's supposed to be curlier, from what I understand. But
yeah,
but she's in the water. She's in the water. It straightens out kind of. I kind of wish we had gotten a visual of what Brownie looked like, or that picture of them.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I hate
Mm.
that we had to rely on he was good looking. I'm like, I want to know how good looking this man was. Like,
Yeah, because what did I write down? I think all I wrote down was I must have got this from the book. So for Brownie, so cute, tall, muscular, dark hair, nice smile. That's all I got. And I was
and he
like,
was outgoing, and everybody liked him.
yeah, corny pickup lines. Everyone loved him. And that, yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
kind
but
of
he
all we
was a
got.
freshman. He had just started too. So how did everyone love him already? They had just met him.
Yeah, that is true. Like, how did that happen?
They
Did he
met at
have?
the same. They all arrived at the same time, but everybody knew him already.
He went round
Uh,
with these corny, cheesy
Was he? But
pickup
wait, he was on
lines.
the tennis team, right?
Yeah,
So maybe he had come in early for like tennis, like because a lot of
yeah,
times sports start earlier than regular than non-sports people. So
yeah,
maybe that's it.
yeah. Maybe he was there. Yeah, a little bit sooner.
They would have like a sports camp thing, kind of like with the cheerleading stuff, like with the screen
Mm.
team.
Oh
They do like
yeah,
the cheer
like
camp of like
separate.
a week or a couple of weeks before everybody else came in. So maybe
Yeah.
there's a establishment of connections there. That's probably what
Yeah,
happened.
that's a good point. Oh, we'll go with that. We'll fill that
Yeah.
plot hole with that. But then obviously, the accident happens, which we'll have a little chat about in a minute. But obviously, after that accident, Kit decides she's not Kit anymore. She's Katie, and she kind of has this erratic behaviour. I think I wrote down about she's got two speeding tickets, nearly ran a dog over. That's unforgivable. Constantly playing loud music. She jumps in fountains for fun, climbs up old fire escapes. She's just wild,
And she
basically.
changes her name.
Yeah, and she changes her name to Katie. And she's not always likable. And obviously, she's quite unlikable, to be honest. Did you
As
like her
Katie. Yeah.
as Katie or not? Did you?
I would be able to get along with Kit. She would annoy me, but I would get along with Kit. As
Yeah.
Katie, I would have been like, I don't want to hang out with this girl. Like,
No,
get her away from
she's
me.
wild.
Yeah, I mean, after a while, your friends start telling you like, you got to stop, you got to chill out,
Mm,
and she's not. And like, all right, well, we're not hanging out with you until you do.
yeah,
That's what I would have done.
yeah.
But
But I mean, her friends, we'll say friends loosely, because to me they weren't very good friends to her, really. Um, which is revealed at the end as well, definitely. But
mm,
yeah, I just found her. I'm in two minds. She grew on me a little bit, I think, throughout the book. Like, to start with, yeah, okay, Kit, I can take. Then, obviously, she's this wild Kate, and she got on my nerves. But by the end, she had grown on me, and I was rooting for her.
Yeah, well, you started seeing things through her eyes, and you're like,
Yeah,
okay. She starts realizing I had been crazy. I had been acting
yeah,
irrational and erratic, but that doesn't mean an
mm,
excuse. People should still believe me. I'm like, yeah, but you can see why they wouldn't, right? Like,
yeah,
because you're not really
yeah.
sane right now.
Yeah, exactly. But like as you say, it's kind of like Kit was breaking through a little bit at the end as well.
Hmm.
To give her those like rational thoughts as well, which I thought was kind of good. Like she's got this conflict about the old
What's
her and the
funny,
new
the whole
her.
thing is set up like she has multiple personalities,
Yeah.
and it wasn't a conscious shift in her
Mm.
personality,
It kind of just happened.
Yeah, she's kind of like, I'm grieving, so grieving me is Katie now. Like,
Yeah, that's
and that's the
true.
only thing that she could do. She consciously made that decision. It wasn't like she just split and became Kit
Yeah.
and Katie,
Yeah.
like
Mm.
double
It's
Shelley.
like double Shelley from last week. Whoa, no one wants to see that. But yeah, that's so true. Like, it, she was quite a complex character. I don't really know where I sit with her. Like, and I think if I was her friend, I would feel like that as well. So maybe
Mm.
Diane Ho did a good job in that respect with the writing.
Yeah.
Maybe you meant to feel
It
like
was a
that with her.
good, I will say this, like, I know I bring this up a lot, and I will. Having lost my mom and gone through the grief
Mm,
process and everything, it was a decent representation of grief in a
yeah,
brief book, a small book and a
yeah,
thriller, but it was a good representation of like things that you wouldn't normally do, and you change, and maybe you
mm,
try to be more like this person you lost, or you're doing something to distract yourself from not thinking about that person or keeping yourself
mm,
busy. I totally understand all of that. So I bought all
yeah.
of that. So,
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, like if you thought it was a good, portrayal of grief and how that
I
can
think
come out in
so.
many different ways, can't it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then getting angry. Like oh my gosh, you guys don't know.
Mm.
You don't know. You don't see
Oh.
me on an everyday, day to day basis. I was
Yeah.
so, and I still kind of am to a degree, but and I think that's just the world we live in. But I get so sensitive about. I was
Mm.
getting really sensitive about every little thing. Everything was on getting on my nerves because I was
Yeah.
having to deal with life without my mom now, and I'd never done that, and everything was
Mm.
overwhelming, and I'd thought too much, and I was missing her, but I'm thinking too much, and I got all these responsibilities, and then
Mm.
so yeah, I was lashing out left and right, or saying horrible things, or just being.
Yeah.
And I'm like, God, I got to stop this. I got to stop. So that's why I really delved into the podcast. That's why I got off a lot of
Yeah.
social media. That's why, and
Yeah.
so it helped a lot. But yeah, it's
Mm.
hard. It's hard. You
Yeah.
totally will. Your personality does shift after you lose somebody,
Mm.
so important to you. So,
Yeah, that's it. And I do think that she did Dan Ho did a good job portraying that. Like I did really feel for Katie, like I felt for her
hmm
because she didn't even have a good support network around her
no,
really, at all with her friends and a roommate. Just no one. She had no one really.
I will do this though. I will say I did not get that sloppy in
Hmm.
my room. My freshman year of college, I had a roommate
Yeah.
and he was a slob.
No.
And he was also lazy. We had like a bunk bed situation. He lived on the top bunk and he didn't always feel like climbing up on the bunk. So he always threw his clothes on a pile on the floor. So he would just sleep on the pile of clothes.
Oh. Oh.
And then years later, I went to visit him when he had his own studio in another city. And I went to visit him and it was still kind of the same situation. Like, why can't you clean? You have a studio apartment. There's not much to clean. And just pick up stuff. It takes no time. But I woke up because he had an air mattress, and I woke up on the air mattress, and like ants were crawling up my arm. Like, yeah,
Oh.
it was bad. And I was like, clean, clean, please.
Oh
So there's no
no.
excuse. I'm sorry. I can understand
No.
like taking a few days and you don't take a shower often. I get that depression, but
Mm.
you clean a little bit. You don't just leave everything crappy. And I understand people who don't feel like they need to, but really make the conscious effort to clean.
See,
And when people point it out, clean.
clean. So you felt how Luann felt then when she was like, "Please clean up this room, like just a little bit. Can you clean as you go along?"
Yeah,
Like she kept
just a
trying
little.
to drum
Do
it
it for
into
her
her.
if anything. Like do it for the
Yeah,
other people in your life. Not I mean, I get
yeah,
it, you're not in the mood. Or just shove everything on your side of the room or stick stuff under the bed. Make it look
yeah,
cleaner than it is. Like just a little
yeah.
something. Anyway, that's my soapbox on that.
Oh, I love it. um, Claire said the prologue confused me. It must have been Callie's monologue. Oh, it could have been, right?
Oh, it could have been Kelly,
Yeah, so
yeah.
Callie, it was obviously
But no,
Robert's
but the whole guilty
sister.
thing.
Yeah.
That wasn't her. That
Mm,
was who.
a bit
So
confusing.
yeah.
um, Sharon said, I found Katie slash Kit quite hard work most of the book. I do agree with that. Like, it took me a while for me to kind of gel with her a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, Sharon said, wasn't keen on her cake based boyfriend Brownie. Yeah, yum yum yum.
Yeah.
Eddie May said Kit was so annoying the entire time. Yeah, that's so true. Larissa said, I'm sure we'd all. Oh, sorry. Larissa said, "Oh, come on, guys, she's crying out for psychological help." Yeah, I'm sure we'd all be
And
if we
they
went
were
to
like,
this
you need to talk to a
uni.
doctor. And she wouldn't
Yeah,
do it. I'm like, girl, go see a
no,
doctor.
yeah. Oh
It would have looked
dear.
better if you had, actually.
Yeah. Sharon said grief is weird, but I've never felt the urge to dance in a fountain. Why not, Sharon? Let's go for it. La la la
Like
la
Friends. Yeah.
la. We'll do the song that the villain sings at the end. Row, row, row your boat gently down the street.
Oh my, no, no.
That was so funny.
I would have
Uh,
sang Bridge Over Troubled Water, but
Matthew said, I agree, Sharon. I tend to shy away from any activity that's going to get me wet. Sorry. My
no
mind went in
comment.
a very dark place. Um, Sharon said lots of fountains in the 90s, obviously. Teddy said Detective Shelley. I think that was about my thoughts about it. It might not be a Diane Ho. Um, Narissa said, I get how she fell into the garment bag, so we'll have a chat about that in a sec, but not the hat pin working. So we'll talk about that because I'm sure we've got a lot to say. Teddy said, I felt I liked Kit, felt her friends were not supportive at all. I would expect a lot more from my close friends if I went through what Kit did. Yeah, so
Mm.
what did you think of her friendship circle? Like, were any of them likable or
I
what?
think that the fact that they stuck around was support enough, and they kept bringing it up to her, like, "Hey, you're being
Mm,
irrational. Let's do things. Let's do good things." And she was not. They were doing what they should have. They're all like 18 or 19 years old. They're not that mature themselves. And the fact
mm.
that they stuck around while their friend was grieving,
Oh,
even
okay.
though she was not a likable person to be around,
Yeah,
they still stuck around her and kept asking her to do things. So I think that was
yeah.
support in itself. So
Okay. Because I was a bit like, I was just fed up with them because I felt like, obviously, maybe I was reading it because I was feeling sorry for her, but I was like, they gaslighting her constantly. No, you didn't do that. You didn't put gas in the car. You mustn't have done
well,
that.
that stuff I
But,
did get like I mean, I can see how like well, it's like maybe you didn't put gas in the car. Maybe you thought you did. They
mm,
were kind of saying it like that. And I was like,
trying to be
I could see
rational in a way, but
right.
it
So like
came
maybe she's like,
across,
no, I didn't, no, I didn't. And then she kept saying, no, I didn't. But you're like, yeah, but you keep saying you didn't do these things and these things happen and we have no
yeah,
proof that you didn't do them or that somebody else did do
yeah,
them. Like
yeah.
we can't and you're acting weird and crazy. So we're kind of like, maybe it was you. Like I mean, see it from our point of view a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I just felt like not one of them believed her ever. Like they
No.
couldn't just. Although Davis does have some type of conversation with her at some point, aside from the group, I believe, from my memory, and where he's saying, "Look, do you think it's time that you should get some help and whatnot?" So I think
Yeah.
that's about halfway through the book. So
She's like, you mean
maybe
a
they
crazy doctor, a mental doctor, or something she
yeah,
says.
yeah, that's it. And then she just totally rejects the idea. So maybe he did try in that respect, but every time something happened, they just didn't believe her straight away. They're
Yeah.
just like, "Oh, it's Katie again."
I'll get to the point like where you're so frustrated or you're grieving or you're frustrated and you have all these you're overwhelmed with stuff and people are trying to
Mm,
help and you can't see what they see. So that's happened to me too. You reject
yeah,
it because you're not ready for that narrative yet. You know, you're
yeah,
not ready for it. And then once you figure it out, you're like, oh my God. It just hits you all of a
yeah,
sudden. You're like, oh man, you start to finally see things through other people's eyes. And you're like, I need to get some help, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah. Oh, okay. Um, Matthew said, I liked Brownie to begin with, but then Kate had that flashback where he was acting kind of toxic. So Brownie then, so obviously as we said, he's meant to be like the hunk of the pack.
hmm.
And he to start with, when we first meet him, obviously they've only been together for a couple of weeks at the point of the accident. So he kind
Already
of
sharing I love yous. I'm sorry.
yeah, they fall very, very quickly. Insta love.
And
Um,
everybody's jealous of her because everybody wants Brownie.
yeah,
I'm
that's
sorry, I
it.
don't want to be with anybody named Brownie. I ain't
I'd
calling you. Your name
just
is
be
Robert. That's what I'm calling
hungry.
you.
I'd be
Everybody else
hungry
can call
all
you
the
that. I'm calling
time.
you Rob. Whatever.
Yeah, I'd just be hungry all the time, and
I
then
know. I'm
like
like,
it just wouldn't work.
it would either be about the food or be about like elves. So that'd be the two things I would think of, or a racist thing. But hopefully that's not the
Oh
case. But
no.
like
I
yeah.
would
So
just
that
be
would be the
like,
three things I think about.
I'd just be like all the time, like yum 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 yum, like hungry in my tummy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I couldn't do it. Um,
Mm-mm.
but he basically plans this canoe ride, doesn't he? Kit's quite anxious about it because the water's really high and it's muddy, and I think there'd been like the river levels had gone high because of rain or bad weather. Um, so they kind of go on this, they get in the canoe and they think it's okay because two canoes have gone. So there must be other people out there,
Well,
right?
she's the one who's like, I don't know. And he's like, no, it's fine. It's fine. Look.
Yeah. He just kind of is like, it's fine, just get in the canoe and I'll
Well, because he was
protect you.
typically known to be a scaredy cat, a timid person, and he's like,
Mm,
"Don't worry about it. Quit worrying." You know, because that's all she
yeah.
does is worry. So I
Yeah.
kind of see how that could lead up to that. But
Yeah. And obviously then, the accident happens. They get turned over in the canoe, don't they? And they're stuck in the river. And long story short, Kit gets out, and Brownie doesn't, for whatever reason, he doesn't get out.
he gets her to shore. She turns back, and he's gone.
Yeah, yeah. So at the point of that we've just met him, did you connect with Brownie or did you like Brownie at that point?
Uh, as far as me, I know that we were supposed to root for her, so that's who I
Mm,
was trying to connect with the most. And and looking back, like going back through the story and thinking about her and stuff, I see what Brownie was seeing and him being the encouragement. Okay,
mm,
but he was he kind of had that bully mentality about him, like
yeah,
forcing her into the boat. She didn't want to go. How about you just say,
yeah,
okay, we won't go? Like it
yeah,
does look choppy. Like, oh, well, fine, I'm a great swimmer. She's like, I'm not.
yeah,
It's just like,
yeah.
but what about me? I'll get you. Like, you're
Mm,
a bit arrogant. Let's stop this. Um, but yeah,
yeah.
I didn't hate Brownie, but I didn't prefer him.
No, no, that's it. But it's really, really interesting. I do think that DIANE HOH did a good job of just putting those flashbacks in, and
Yeah,
the flashbacks gradually, for me, got worse and worse and worse about Brownie's character. And by
yeah,
that last one, where, like Teddy said, he was being, very toxic, and oh, you're looking at that man in the pharmacy or whatnot. I just thought it was such a clever way to reveal his character more without him being in it. I don't know.
yeah.
I just really liked it. I liked how she did that.
I kind of was like, but at the same time, I was like, why are you trying to make us happy? This guy's dead.
Well, well, there is that.
It's like, how about we just focus on, okay, guy's dead. Let's just be sad about it and focus on
Mm,
her. Like, why are we trying
yeah,
to sully his maybe good name and like
yeah,
we don't, he's a character that's gone. They died like within the first chapter. So why do we need to
yeah.
keep going back to that? But
But do you think like? we realise that now reading it, in this day and age, but back then maybe it wasn't written that way. It wasn't meant to be as in your face as it was. It's just that obviously we've grown and we know that these things are toxic. That's just made me think, do you know what I mean? Is it a
Well, yeah,
sign of
that's
the
true. Yeah, because it was
times
the
or
'90s and they didn't see it that way. It
yeah,
is.
that's it. Yeah, no,
They just didn't see it at
definitely.
that time. Yeah,
Yeah, that just made me think. I was like, oh, are we like seeing this for what
in
it is
context.
now? But back then, we would have just thought it's just a flashback kind of
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, but other
Hmm.
than that, yeah, he, he was irrelevant. Really, I'm glad that he got bumped off at the beginning. Definitely. Oh dear. Yeah, Matthew
Eddie
said
May had
like.
to go.
Oh, sorry, Eddie May. See you later. um, Sharon said, yeah, the flashback put him in a different negative light. Um, Eddie May said, I think I got a bit behind, but Eddie May said, I was confused because everyone loved him, I presume, Brownie, but Kit/Kate's flashback of him being toxic put me off. Um, Claire said, I did question the likelihood of a sister choosing to spend all her college time with her younger brother and his friends. My two would totally avoid each other. That's so true. Because Callie obviously, she joined the friendship group.
Oh, here's the thing. We were talking about his name being Brownie, and I'm like,
Mm.
why did she call him Brownie? That was both their last names.
Yeah,
But she just
that's
called him
true.
Robert.
Yeah. Or like some
I
other
found that
name.
weird. I've seen that in a few other things where they'll be calling somebody by their last name, and even the person that's like their sibling or directly related calls them that name too. I'm like, but that's your last name. It makes no sense.
Well, there was a typo in my copy where
Mm.
Brownie's name got changed to Brownini at some point, and Luann's name got changed to Luann with an E on the end. And I was like, oh,
Yes, I did notice that.
yeah.
I was like, wait, did I not? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Sharon said, I kind of get why Luann moved out of the dorm, but I felt sorry for her being left alone when Katie was struggling. Yeah, because
Yeah.
obviously later in the book, Luann decides to leave the dorm and go and live at Nightmare Hall with Linda.
Yeah. What
Um,
a place to move.
yeah, don't worry about the rumours. Just go
And
and
who
live
names a
there.
dormitory the Quad?
Every
She was
book
like,
we
I'm
get to
room
hear
on the
about the
quad.
quad.
The quad is an outdoor space in between buildings,
Yeah.
like in the middle of buildings. That's a quad. So you named a building the quad, and then you have the commons, which is the outdoor space. I'm like, the commons would have been a better name for that building. And
It's so true. Yeah. It's to emphasize about it being four buildings. I guess I don't know.
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know. Matthew said I did come around by the end of the book about Katie. I could sympathise with Katie. Yeah. Eddie May said felt like Katie was more of a defence to get her through what she lost and
Yeah.
witnessed with Brownie, and Kit was
Yeah.
her real self. Yeah, definitely. Um, Larissa said it can be tough to support someone who is struggling hard on both sides, particularly so young and such a change of life going to uni. Yeah, that's so
Right.
true.
You're
Yeah,
so new to life anyway, and having
yeah,
and you have probably never dealt with a huge amount of grief like
mm,
that.
yeah.
Um, Even if you've been together for 2 weeks and that's it. Um,
2 weeks. Yeah,
but I mean, but still, apparently it hit really hard, and
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
funny how like it hit her so hard, but his sister was kind of like, "I'm okay. Hey, you should be
yeah,
sad."
yeah. She seemed like yeah, okay. She was sad, but not as sad as Katie was.
I would think that she would be the depressed
Yeah,
one. Like she would be
exactly.
really depressed.
Yeah,
Like that would make
definitely.
sense. Not for this girl who
Yeah.
just started dating a few weeks ago. But anyway,
Yeah, I agree with
it seems
that.
weird.
Nikki said I guess it's the unique effects of grief and trauma. Yeah.
Mm,
Everyone was 100% agreeing with what you were saying about grief. And Milena said I appreciated the tackling of grief in the book.
yeah.
It was quite deep, I thought, for a point horror, definitely. Claire said I had moments of feeling sorry for Katie, followed by face slapping when she kept wandering off into the dark, isolated spots. Yeah, she just like she just someone's after her and she just goes off for little walks down by the river in the dark. Everything. Yeah, she she.
How do you stay in this pool in the complete darkness? There's not even like a night, like a ghost light, like you know what I mean? Like they usually
Nothing.
have some sort of light that you can see a little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
Nothing.
Just
It's pitch black in that place.
completely pitch black, yeah.
Let's just
Saving
swim in
on
the
the
dark, guys.
electricity.
What?
They're like,
I
we're
could
not
sleep
putting
in here. Don't
we're
don't go to
not
sleep in
putting
there.
these student fees towards electricity. They can just walk around in the dark. Yeah.
Mm.
Eddie May said grief is so personal for each of us, and until you go through it, no one understands. Matthew said,
Hmm.
yes, that's the worst thing about grief because you're grieving, but life keeps coming at you. It doesn't stop, and that makes you feel unhinged sometimes. Claire said, grief is complex. Appreciated how they characterise this with Kit/Katie's changeability. Yeah, so true. She did such a good job, really,
Hmm.
portraying this. Speedway Chick said, because we mentioned about Luann moaning about the dorm being unclean, but she said Luann wasn't clean herself. Yeah, she was messy as well.
Yeah, if you think about it, like they had
Yeah,
half the room, and with all of her stuff on Luann's side of the room too,
exactly.
that I'd have been like, get over there.
Larissa said, can't imagine having to share a bedroom at uni. So glad we got our own. Oh, yeah. Matthew said, if I had been Luann, I would have started cleaning things right into the trash if Katie wouldn't clean up after herself. I've done it to Michael before. It's like, get in the bin. Oh dear. Melina said, introvert me would have hated sharing in the first place, and tidy freak me would not have coped with the mess. A couple of people saying
I
Shelley
think
with exclamation marks there, but I don't know what I did at that
that was
point.
the wet remark earlier.
Oh, no. Um, Eddie Ray said, yeah, I did forget there was basically kids trying to navigate through their friend dealing with serious grief. Um, Sharon said, Callie's editing skills with the cassette tapes was impressive. So
Oh man,
obviously, we
that took
find,
work back in the day. You had to have the two cassette tape boombox,
yeah,
play, record, and then rewind this, and then record, and then rewind this, and
yeah.
record. So you can have that thing repeating over and over. That
She
took
must
time.
have that. Yeah, she committed to that, didn't she? So obviously, she had
The
these
fact that she
two.
was that mad and that mad, like I'm gonna do this to this girl. I'm gonna do this for hours until I can
Pressing them buttons.
and then I'm gonna sneak into her room and play it for her. Like I mean, wow.
But also, there's a bit of a flaw because, like, the Happy Birthday cassette. So obviously, Callie had these two cassettes of that she'd kept of her brother leaving answering not voicemail, answering machine messages or whatnot back in the day. And yeah, so she decides to record them so she can taunt poor Katie because she should feel guilty about everything that happened
Because she
and
didn't think she
whatnot.
felt guilty because she was
Yeah,
acting out and
yeah, that
dancing and
was it.
trying to have fun, and
Yeah.
she wanted her to feel guilty. That's what.
But
Yeah,
then, like, the Linda at Nightmare Hall has a party, and then this tape gets played when Kate is on her own at some point. But surely, like, how did no one else hear it? I mean, I know they was outside, weren't they, doing a
did no one notice that
scavenger
Callie
hunt?
slipped away and was like
It's,
playing this in the
who
room,
pressed
and
play? Yeah, exactly.
did she
Someone would
press
have.
play and then like hide it somewhere and then leave because she
Yeah,
went in that room looking for it?
exactly. And then
Didn't she
how
go
did
in
she get
there
the
instead of the
tape
cake's
back?
room, the dining room?
Like, it doesn't make sense logistically. Like, she had to
Yeah,
get the tape back out.
there's some steps that were missed along the writing. Wait, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, impressive editing skills. I do agree there,
It would have been
definitely.
good as she heard the voice and she's like, wait, what was that? And then she heard somebody walking. And then she walked in there, but they were walking out kind of thing. So she never saw the person. That would have made
Yeah,
sense.
that would have
You
made
say you heard somebody
sense.
in there and then you went in
Yeah,
there and they were gone. and then you
Yeah.
didn't hear the voice anymore or something, you know.
Didn't hear anything. um, yeah, and then also as well, so obviously we're jumping a little bit to the end, but Callie obviously confesses that she's been, doing these things to Katie, like changing the picture in a room.
Hmm.
She removed the gas from the car, just little things to like taunt her. And the tape thing. But then, like, Katie just forgives her and is like, yeah, please stay the night with me. It's no problem you've done all these things to try and, like, make me think I'm going mad. Just
Well, it's
stay the
because
night.
she didn't do the wallet. She didn't know anything about the wallet. She
No.
didn't know anything about that picture because and she didn't know anything about the swimming at the pool. She didn't do any of
Yeah.
that. And yeah, so there was a lot of she was like, okay, you're not the one actually trying to kill me.
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
you were
It's
just,
just
and
like,
I think she took that in that moment and realized she's grieving too, and this is her way of, because she hasn't been showing it. This is her way of
mm,
acting out her grief, was to
yeah.
blame me, and she realized that. And then Callie even said, "Now that I've confessed this, I feel much better.
Yeah,
Like I
she
don't
did.
feel this way
Yeah.
towards you anymore now that I've told you this." And they
Yeah.
kind of like made up right then and there. So I
But all they
understand.
needed to
Kind of, it
do,
happened really fast, but
yeah, it
I
was
understand what it
quick.
was about.
But they just needed to talk it out, basically,
Yeah,
rather than she didn't have to go to the extremes of everything that she was doing to Katie to.
yeah.
But maybe in a way that did make Callie feel a little bit better. That's her grief of dealing with, her brother's death, maybe.
Yeah.
But it was very quick. She was like, yeah, stay the night. Why not?
Can you please stay here? I know you try to like make me feel bad, and that's, I get it now. But like, can you
Please
stay here?
stay.
Because I think someone's trying to
Yeah,
kill me.
stay.
You're not trying to
Oh,
kill me, are you? No. Okay. Can you stay here and make me no one's trying to kill me?
I
Thanks.
believe you. Don't matter. Just we'll forget all the other stuff.
Yeah.
April said, "I'm wondering if that's why she forgave Callie. So Katie forgiving Callie so easily because she was already feeling guilt and thought she deserved that psychological torture." Ah, okay. Yeah, because Narissa
But
said
part of her
survivor's
felt that way.
guilt.
She already felt a little guilty, like she didn't save him
Mm,
in time or something.
yeah. Yeah, maybe. And
And
Narissa
Narissa's
said,
talking about comeback clapper.
but
Happy birthday to you.
but that could be, you know. But then she
Kind
would
of
have
something.
she would have heard the clap, right? No, she would have she would have heard
If
the
there was
clap.
something she could do with like a remote control,
Yeah.
or maybe back in the day, you had to push down the button for a boombox to play, right?
Yeah.
So if you didn't have it plugged in, you could push down that button and then like have an extension cord somewhere or something, and then just
Yeah.
kind of connect it and it would start playing. And then you just take it off, disconnect it, it would stop playing. You know what I mean? Like back in
Maybe.
the day, you could do that.
It
Maybe
could
that's what she did.
be.
We're really thinking this out too much, but I do it all the time. This is
We've
what we do in the rewatch recap, guys. We
we
try to
think
make sense out of something that makes no sense.
yeah. Oh dear. So out of all of Katie's friends, did you have a favourite character or favourite friends?
Well, I didn't like Alan from the beginning. I will say that,
Mm-mm.
but I just didn't. I
No.
just like, really, she's been around you this whole time and she hasn't come out of her shell, and you're okay.
Yeah.
I out of her friends, I guess. I mean, as I was suspecting all of them the entire time.
Yeah, I was
Like trying to pin it on
actually.
somebody. But
Yeah.
I guess I did like Davis the most because
Yeah.
he caused the least amount of drama amongst her friends
Yeah.
with
I
her.
I
So
agree. Yeah, I loved Davis until the end. And then I was like, why did I like this character? Because he knew all along that it was bloody Alan and he didn't do anything.
well, he did sit outside her door at one point to like guard her. Once he really started thinking, this has got to be Alan, I'm gonna go stand outside her door and guard. So
Yeah,
at least he did
well,
that, and she didn't even know that he did it. So that was good. He
yeah.
could
I
have at least
mean,
said something to her about it, though. He could
it
have at
just
least said something to her, like, um, I don't have any evidence really, but I have a really strong feeling that your friend
Yeah.
Alan is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
He just doesn't say anything to her, and then at the end, he's kind of like, "Oh yeah, I knew it was him from right from the beginning when you went to the movie, and then the word guilty appeared in your car on the
And he
dirt
had
because I
dusty
saw
hands. I'm
dusty
like, he didn't
hands."
wipe off his hands? I've walked by a car and written "wash me" on it before, or driven like a happy
And
face or
you
something,
go,
and I got dust, and I go, just
"Yeah."
dust it off, and it's gone. So what was he doing? He's just like, I don't have time to wipe this off. I'm gonna have some popcorn while I'm at it.
But he must have gone back into the movie theatre, like
How did I not
logistically.
notice he left? There's only four of you. How did you not notice somebody got up
But
and left?
Davis is obviously very clever and worked it out from that. And I was like, hang on, so you had a conversation with Katie about how she should see a doctor because these weird things are happening. She's going wild and whatnot, but you still didn't mention that you think you know who the person is. I was like,
Well, here's the thing.
I don't get
Davis is
it.
stupid.
Yeah.
He's stupid. He's stupid. If he saw
Hmm.
somebody's dusty hands and didn't figure out then, and didn't notice, somehow he just didn't notice, he was that into the movie that this guy got up from next to him and left and came back with, and then, but noticed the dusty hands at some point, and then went, huh, nah, and then just kept going on with his life, and then other things were happening. He's like, huh, and just kept going on with his life. Every other more thing kept going, and you're like,
Yeah.
so he's an idiot.
Yeah.
Davis is
So
an idiot, and she
surely
really doesn't need to be with him. But
he should have put two and two together. I mean, I think he even mentions at some point
he
that
would have put two and two together and gotten three.
so he does mention he did notice that Alan had disappeared with the whole attic garment bag incident as well. And I'm like,
Okay, garment bag. We got to get to this. All
yeah.
right.
So the
Okay.
garment
So
bag
she goes upstairs. She finds garment bags with old clothes, like antique clothes, like
that
old
look
old
like
stuff.
refrigerators.
That's the thing. That's not a bag.
No.
This is a bag. She called, and later on she called them portable closets. I'm like, that makes
Mm,
sense because
yeah.
when she described it, she said she woke up and there were columns all around her. I'm like, what? And then she's like, oh, I'm in a garment bag. I'm like, that's not a column. How do you not know you're in a bag? I mean, you're in a bag, But she was in a closet. She was in a storage closet, like a makeshift pop-up closet. It's
it's
not the same thing as a bag.
it's the whole thing. I had to reread this scene like three times because I just could not get it in my head what was going on. So she kind of hits her head on a beam, and the next thing you know, she's inside the garment bag, and she's convinced
Must have fell
herself,
in
I must have just fell.
and zip myself up.
I must have just fell in the bag and then somehow turned the lights off and zipped myself in the bag.
And the fact that it was the thickest plastic ever. She couldn't even break through it. I'm like, you can't break through a layer of plastic? Like, I've seen these types of pop-up makeshift like closet bags. They're not
Yeah.
that thick. I mean, this is a thick plastic, but I can rip it open if I needed to. If my life is in danger, and that's another thing. She was like, I'm losing air. And I'm like, well, if it's a garment bag, there's a hole at the top where the
Where the hanger.
so just put your mouth up there if anything. But
Yeah,
but
like.
I can't. And she's like, I can't get the zipper. I'm like, you can't break open a zipper. And then, like, you know how many times I've broken
Yeah,
zippers from the middle by accident?
exactly. There was just
Exactly, Sharon. She had teeth.
yeah, there was
Rip that shit open. Fight it. Let's do this.
there's just so many questions. Like, one, who thought this was a good idea to put in a book? Well, I mean, he was hilarious, I have to admit. Two, like, if
That
I
was a
was
full chapter.
I'm
Put the
sure he
man
went
trapped
into
in the
the
bag.
chapter. But like,
She was trapped in a bag closet and
I
and
want to
for a whole
know
chapter.
if this has ever happened to anybody. Did you accidentally fall in a garment bag and couldn't get out? Like, please let us know. Because, like, who would think these things? I mean, yeah, okay, put someone in a garment bag to suffocate them. We've all
But
been
I think,
there.
like, have you ever like zipped yourself up into a sleeping bag and you're like,
Yeah.
I need. It's kind of hard for me to get out. But then if you do this, you can unzip it just by doing that. It's by forcing it apart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh
outside. There you
dear.
go.
Honestly, yeah. Honestly, it's I just yeah. If I was the editor reading that, I would have had questions, and I would have like put a
I'm
mark
like, do you
saying,
mean
"Is
garment
this
bag?
is this factually correct? Could you fall in?" But it's the
It's the
fact that
bag. It's
like
just because they. So they. So each one. So how big was this thing, and why was only one garment in each thing? If it could fit a whole person, and there was only one thing, and she had those huge industrial sized like needles, the hat needles, hat pins, and she's
yeah,
poking through it, and she can't do anything with it. It's
no,
poking through it. You made a hole,
yeah,
like I don't.
yeah. It just
It makes no sense.
it didn't make sense. And the whole fact as well that they knew that she had climbed up this fire escape. Granted, they didn't know that she'd gone in the attic, but they knew she climbed up this fire escape. But they mentioned they did go and look in one of the rooms, but they don't go out of their way. They just think she's gone home. Like they just leave her up there. They're like, oh, just leave
We
her.
saw you go up the fire escape, and so we looked up there. We didn't go in the attic though. I'm like,
No.
you went, you looked everywhere except the attic. So we thought you went home, but you didn't check the attic. You
Oh
know,
yeah.
And Sharon wrote something. She says she was unconscious. Why didn't he just bash her head in or strangle her? Okay, well, when we find
Mm.
out who did it, that was the moment at that point that he realized that, oh, she is
Mm.
Katie. She is not Kit. And
Yeah.
I think he probably saw that she was bleeding from the back of her head, probably thought she might have be concussed enough to die, and probably just like
Yeah.
shoved her body in there and zipped it up and then left.
Easy death.
That's probably what it was. He probably, she's going to die in here. We'll just, maybe, and if not,
Yeah.
maybe she'll suffocate. Maybe that's what he was thinking.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, definitely. I saw Sharon put. I also suspected everyone at one point. I expected it to be Callie at the end, all to be Callie. Um, April said, "I'm with you, Shelley. You should have said something." So talking about Davis. Um, and yeah, Matthew said, "How many attics have a closet, a storage room off the storage room?"
A
Oh
sub addict.
dear.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, April said the garment bag scene felt like a fever dream. Oh, Claire said, so glad it wasn't just me. I couldn't picture the garment bags refrigerators at all. So bizarre. I couldn't get it in my head.
I was like, refrigerator? They said that, and I went,
Yeah.
garment bag refrigerator. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh dear. And Lisa said I had
And if the refrigerator size, again, it could fit more than one garment. It could fit more than one. Why was there like five separate ones and each one only had one in it?
But then at the end, when we find out the reveal, obviously, well, the reveal was Alan, but for the main reveal, he's the one who did it, and he's like, "Yeah, I folded up that garment bag and put it." Oh, cat.
That's what she plugged up.
I folded up the garment bag and put it inside the other garment bag, and ha! You didn't look properly because you just looked at the outside of all the garment bags, and I was like, okay, so it was small enough it could have been folded up and put in another one. Oh, look.
Yeah, no.
Cute.
She likes to lay here. She's like, you're in my spot. So
Oh.
it's okay.
Lisa
She'll be
Lisa
fine.
said I had to read that whole sequence twice. The first time I was like, surely not. That was like me, Lisa. I was like, what am I reading?
Yeah, it was one of those things where it was like, I'm reading this, but it almost felt like, when you just kind of you're reading something, you're like, well, I wasn't paying attention. I need to reread this. You know, you did that. It felt like that, but I was paying attention. And I'm like, was I not paying attention?
Oh dear.
That's so
Well,
weird.
earlier I said to Kevin, I said, have you got any garment bags? And he says, your wedding dress is in one, which is in the shed and whatnot, all packaged up. And I was like, I'm going to need that so I can do a picture. But I ran out of time in the end, so I didn't. But he was like, why am I having this conversation, Shelley? And I was like, oh, someone just falls into a garment bag in this point horror. And he's just like,
Just
oh,
falls into
okay.
one. Just falls right in. Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, Claire said there's a hole in the top. Yeah. Teddy said the garment bag was hilarious. However, it did throw up many questions. Heather said, then I was hung up in the closet too, Beetlejuice style. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharon said she was unconscious. Why didn't she? Yeah, that what you said earlier, bash her head in or strangle her. Teddy said points for originality, though. That's so true.
Yeah. They were trying
Yeah.
something. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, Noosa said not the garment bag, the panic, disorientation, displacement. Oh, yeah. Sharon said, I think we all need a garment bag picture. Only, yeah, a reenactment, Narissa said. Need to see if it's possible. But the other big thing that happens is obviously the swimming pool scene in this one as well, which I have questions over as well. So obviously, the girls break into the swimming pool, don't they, for some relaxation time. And eventually Callie and is it Luann with them? Yeah, it must be. Callie and Luann leave Katie on her own because she just wants to be on her own and float in the pool with no lights on. Again, no electricity. So then she hears someone get into the pool, and that someone starts to drag her down under the pool. Now, that means Alan must have been able to hold his breath for a very long time underwater, right? I've got
Yeah.
questions. Like, it don't make sense.
Well,
And how did.
it happens fast. So to her, it might be a
Yeah.
long time, but to us, it's like seconds, you know?
But,
I
like,
mean, somebody janks you down underwater, you're going to be fighting. You're going to, nope, nope, get up.
exactly, yeah.
She broke free and she reached up and she's grabbing, and then they grabbed her hand. She's like, oh, so he can't grab my ankles, so his hands are up here. I'm going to kick,
Yeah.
you know?
Which, in
And
that moment, she does use her common sense, doesn't she?
yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, that whole scene, I was a bit like. And then she runs out, I presume still in her swimming costume, and bumps into this useless security guard who is just like, oh, obviously at the end of their shift and can't be bothered. And basically, the security guard tells Katie not to tell Porcupine lies, and that no one could be possibly have done that to her, and she just shouldn't be in the swimming pool anyway.
Yeah.
Oh
And then
dear.
she gets a completely made up name. I love that.
Oh yeah.
And I love that that's not brought up later. She got away with it. Like,
Yeah. Like, I want to see a
smart though.
flashback scene of the security guard like trying to find that person on campus.
Looking her up on the, yeah, looking her up like,
Oh
there's
dear.
nobody named that who goes to school here. It's like, oh, damn. I should have made her show me her ID.
But the
I
thing
just took
is,
her word for it.
the security guard is, if we're thinking that these books are running like all at the same time, so all these things are happening on campus. So obviously, what have we got? So we've got in Deadly Attraction, someone's knocked out of a fourth floor window.
Oh, yeah.
We've got dorm buildings exploding in Silent Scream, I think it was. Deadly weaponry in their rooms in The Roommate. Blown
Mm-hmm.
out onto the observatory decks, or buses easily stolen in The Wish. And bus crashes with cheerleaders on the Scream team. So it's like, surely the security guard should have took her a little bit more seriously
You're
if
like,
we're
there are
thinking
things
they're on the
happening
same.
all over this campus right now. Do you not know?
Exactly.
This
Just,
has been a
just,
banner year for this school. Come on.
yeah, just like not another incident. Matthew said, I'm surprised when I consider how many garment bags I have on hand. The number has snuck up on me. Ominous things, garment bags. Watch out, Matthew. It's gonna come for you.
That sounds like a new like Goosebumps book, Attack of the Garment Bag.
Yeah, that's good. Speed Rating said, and Alan wasn't a good swimmer. That's what was said at the end of the book. Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Rage helps you out, I guess. Like he,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he had a snorkel. It was dark. We don't know. He could
Full
have had a
snorkeling
tank on his
gear.
back for all we know. You know.
Oh dear. Um, so I just realised what time it was, but
Yeah, we went back. Yeah.
I know, sorry. So obviously we have two reveals we've mentioned. Obviously, Callie is the one reveal,
Doing the less harmful things.
yeah, doing the less harmful things. And obviously the second reveal doing the more harmful things, including garment bags, is Alan.
Yeah.
Now we find this out by Katie, and this is such a 90s thing, I think, as well. Going into his closet, obviously putting the clothes back, because she's looking for a jumper or something. And there's a creepy blown up poster in his wardrobe, which is meant to be of Callie and Robert, and he's replaced Robert's face with his own. And I just thought, how 90s.
I want to know, did he try to Photoshop it? Did he, and then have that
Yeah.
blown up, or did he just blow up his own face and just cut it out and put it on top? You know,
And then
probably
also,
did that.
how
I'm
big
sure.
was this? Because obviously, back then in the 90s, you had to go and get these things developed. So did no one
Yeah,
question why he was having like this big picture developed of him?
yeah.
And
Or why he
obviously
was carrying it around campus. He had to get it to his door somehow.
rolled it up, you know?
If it was rolled up, I mean, I don't know if it was a rolled up poster or it was one of those like foam board posters they make, you know? Or
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I was just like, when I read that, I was like, that's so 90s. And obviously he confesses to like the garment bag, the swimming pool, writing guilty on the car. And then we get this kind of whole dramatic ending where he takes Katie to the bridge, obviously trying to get her to jump in the water and die. And we find out, like, you know, doesn't like the fact that she is not Kit anymore, and he loved Kit, and that, you know, she's changed to Katie, and she's not the same, not the same person. But what did you like that whole reveal and like the ending? Like, what did you
I mean,
think?
yeah, that was okay. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like you never asked her out.
Yeah,
That's your fault. You
yeah,
just assumed that
exactly.
you guys would get together, and
Yeah,
you didn't ask her out.
yeah,
When you saw she was going for Brownie or Brownie was going for her, you should have said, Brownie, I want to date her. Like, please stay away
yeah.
from her. I want her.
Like,
You should
stay
have said
back.
that. Like,
Yeah,
because I've known her longer. I really want to be with her. Can I, and that, I'm sure he would have been like, can I scatter my bike? He'd probably be like, you know what, go ahead. But he didn't
yeah,
even try.
exactly.
He
No.
just assumed he had that, I hate to say that straight white male privilege, thinking he's just going to get something without working for it
Yeah. And then
because he's who he is.
and then who is he to kind of say, oh, I don't like the person you are now after this traumatic incident that's happened. You know, I want you to go back to the person you were before who never said boo to a goose, basically. And that's the person I liked the most.
Yeah.
No, no, Alan. No. That's all I can say. Oh, he did make me
But I
mad.
love what she did though. And she was like, he wants me to be Kit. I need to, what would Kit do?
Yeah.
How would I do this as Kit? And she was like, I can't remember Kit, but maybe Kit would be scared. Oh yeah, that's what I'll do. And then he's
Yeah.
like, wait. And he's like, Kit? Like, is that you? Like
Yeah.
he had the multiple personalities and he was
Mm.
projecting.
Yeah,
She just
definitely.
changed her name. It's acting a little different because of her grief.
Yeah.
He was the one who was like cuckoo and like
Yeah.
really
I
thought,
agree. And
yeah. So he projected that onto her.
it felt like such a 90s ending as well. Like I really
Hmm.
was like in the zone of like the old 90s films at that
It
point.
felt like the ending of Scream a little bit.
Yeah,
I had that
yeah,
feeling, You're like,
yeah,
the thing was, they
definitely.
kept saying the knife was poking her in the back. The knife was poking her in the back. I'm like, if it's poking her, it's probably scratching her. Aren't they going to figure out that there was a knife involved in this and not her
Yeah,
autopsy? Like, if she died, like they would see there were knife marks, and they wouldn't be like, oh,
yeah.
that's too clean to be, you know, a rock
No,
or something.
yeah. He
So
didn't. He didn't think it through, did he?
no,
And then, like, obviously, we find out that Robert didn't. just drown, like Alan hit him with a rock, and which obviously then he
I
drowned
mean, he
because he
flat
had,
out murdered the guy.
yeah, like cold-blooded murder. He was like, yeah, rock, rats.
But the thing was, like, they went off on their own direction into the
Mm,
woods, and then these two got into the boat. How did he
yeah,
know that they were going to crash and all that stuff was going to happen so that he
yeah.
could kill Robert?
Unless he was just stalking them, and then
Or
obviously it
he
was
was
just
just like, I bet you,
coincidence.
like, oh, you know what? This water's choppy. I'm going to make sure.
Yeah, it was
And then
just
he
like
saw his opportunity and he jumped
opportunity.
into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. It's got to have been, hasn't it? Got to have been. Um, but then obviously at the end, because they both eventually fall into the water, and Katie's
Hmm.
surprised, like, I'm not dead, I'm not dead. But we don't find out what happened to Alan, do we? They don't find his body, and I kind of like that. That's really 90s as well.
Hmm.
Creepy. Yeah. But then, like, Katie at the end is just kind of like, oh, well, we're all friends.
Yeah.
Let's go off. It was
Yeah.
like a bit of a quick ending, wasn't it?
Yeah. And it was kind of like, and we're done. Everybody hug.
Yeah, yeah. But do you think Alan was a good villain, like, for a point horror? Like,
Yeah, I
think,
think he was. I think
yeah,
he was, um, it makes sense. At least the storyline made sense. Even if it played out kind of weird, it still made sense, and
yeah,
and it made sense that and I did notice that he never called her Kit. I know, but never called her
yeah.
Katie,
Never called a
and he
Katie,
never called
yeah,
her by her name. I noticed that everybody else kept saying Kit, 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 and he never said it. And I
yeah.
noticed, I was like, why is he never saying her name? I was like, maybe it's because he's so used to her. Like I thought there was gonna be a discussion of why he isn't calling her that. I thought that was going
Mm,
to come up, and he could have said something because I've known you your whole life. You're Kit.
yeah,
I'm not going to
yeah.
change your name. It's different for these people. They just met you. For me, I
Mm,
can't do that. You know, it's
yeah.
like telling your parents, call me Jessica from now on, and you're like,
Mm,
but your name's Shelly, and that's how I know. That's your name is Shelly. I'm sorry. No,
yeah,
I'm not calling you
yeah,
Jessica.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
it's not. Your parents couldn't do that, but the friend you just made a week ago could. Like so.
Yeah. But I never picked that up about him not calling her Katie at all throughout the book, and I was a bit like,
I had just
oh,
noticed that he had did that, and then I was waiting for it to be brought up, and it never was. And
mm.
then she mentioned it at the end. Oh, he never really did call me Katie,
And he was
or
like,
never called me by my
aha.
name. I went, ah. At least I caught that.
Oh dear. But they do mention that he wasn't a good swimmer, but he was definitely that whole thing that I mentioned earlier. He was a good poet with his rhyme was row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 you hit your head on a beam. I was like, he thought about this. And then it was row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 merrily. You'll never make the swim team. I don't think she wanted to be part of the swim team, right? I was like, that's a bit flawed, Alan.
He's sitting in his dorm room the night before. I'm gonna kill her tomorrow, and
I'm
this
going
is
to
what I'm
kill
gonna
her.
say.
This is my
That doesn't rhyme
speech,
right. Let's
my
think
killer
something else. Think
speech.
something. You know what? The swim team because I almost drowned her. Yeah, yeah,
That's genius.
yeah. She'll like that. She'll appreciate that before she does.
He was like, what rhymes with stream? Garment bag doesn't. I was
Pop up
just like,
closet? No.
but I like to think he made it up on the spot, you know. That's what I like to
Yeah.
think. Genius.
Oh, blimey.
Oh dear. Larissa said, watch out for garment bags definitely has to be this month's lesson. Yeah, this month's life lesson. Matthew said, did they have Photoshop in 1993? Just barely if they did when we were talking about the photo.
The average
Um,
person didn't. The average
no,
person, like Hollywood type people did, but not
yeah.
a college kid.
Larissa said maybe there was a photo lab on campus, so easy to be covert. I couldn't say that then. Teddy said the ending was overly dramatic in the best possible way. Yeah,
Hmm.
the ending did sell it for me. I was a bit bumbling through it a little bit, like,
You
Katie's
know what
getting
it
on my
reminded me
nerves.
of? The ending? it reminded me of the end of The Cable Guy when he takes Leslie Mann up to the
Uh,
big satellite and it's raining and she's like,
yeah.
I want to go home. And he's like, come on. And he's like, and they're standing in the rain. It kind of felt like that. Like she was being
Yeah, a
all
little
timid
bit
and he's
like
all
that.
nuts. Yeah.
Yeah, it did feel really familiar. That's you've hit the nail on the head there. I couldn't picture what it reminded me of.
Hmm.
Um, Matthew said, yes, the ending brought me around. Yeah, because the halfway point slowed down for me. I agree. The ending sold it for me.
Hmm.
Um, Larissa said, we know what he'd be doing these days. Alan liked, April said Alan liked her that way because he could control her, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's why I think Robert was the same, wasn't he, essentially? He could
I
control
think in a
her.
way, I think he not really controlling. I don't think Robert
Mm,
was as controlling.
yeah.
I think it was a '90s thing, though. The guy kind of dominant over the girl,
Yeah.
but I think he was trying to get her out of her shell too.
Yeah,
And Alan wanted
definitely.
her in that shell. He didn't like new Katie.
No.
He wanted Kit. He didn't like out of her shell Katie. He wanted in her
Yeah.
shell Kit. Robert was trying to bring Kit out of her shell,
Mm,
and even though he was controlling, he still was trying to make her more lively and open. So.
yeah. And I'm so glad at the end she chose herself because she's saying, yeah, I'm Katie, and Katie's not going anywhere. And she chose herself in the end, and I really like that as well.
Hmm.
Matthew said he gave her that expensive red wallet he thought he was owed. Yeah, he kept going on about that expensive red wallet. Melina said, I thought Alan was really sinister. Sharon said, totally not the point, but I'd hate if someone went into my room and my wardrobe and just took my jumper. Yeah, that's so true. Um, April said, or thought he could control her as her timid self. Yeah, like you were saying, Dustin, he was so gross. Yeah, definitely. Speed Ratchet said Alan was unconscious at the end on the bank, wasn't he? Oh, was he? I
Yeah, he
thought that.
was
Oh,
because
sorry,
they
that was
said, "Oh, the
me.
police are coming."
Oh, I was just in hope that they didn't find his body. I must have been
No, no, no.
like
He
thinking,
had called the
please.
bank and he was unconscious, and they said the police are on their way.
Uh,
Don't worry, they'll get him. He's going to be arrested. Then
yeah.
he was arrested. The police came and they got him.
Oh, how did I miss this?
Like they were coming. Yeah.
I obviously made up my own ending in my head, and I was like, oh, can't find him.
Hold on.
Um, yeah, Matthew said, I'm surprised they didn't go to the movies river from the riverside like in Babysitter too. Yeah, that's true. Go to the movies at the end. Oh yeah, Sharon said Alan was out the water first and with the police, wasn't he? Oh,
Hmm.
I I must have totally blanked this out of my mind. Yeah, Claire said Alan was pulled out unconscious and arrested.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was just looking to make sure where that happened. It was like it was really quick and it's just kind of mentioned. They didn't really dive into it too much.
Yeah. Oh, I must have missed that. I must have been just living in hope that he didn't live. Teddy said Alan was totally unhinged, absolute psycho, if I'm honest. Heather said, "Come on, Shelley, he's doing his best about his little poem."
Could you imagine back home? Because you know their families are super tight because
Yeah.
they've been friends
Oh, yeah.
forever.
Been friends for
Or
like,
all their friends back home, they hear he tried to kill her. Like,
yeah,
like you can you imagine
the
how shunned
scandal.
that family is going to be in that town? Like,
Yeah.
oh, and there's gonna be like a damn Capulet Montague thing going on. Like
Oh, that's so true. That's so true. Larissa said, row your boat gently down the stream. Going to shove you in a garment bag and hang you from a beam. Yes, Larissa. You need to give
Narissa, write a Point Horror book, please.
yeah,
You've read
give
enough of them.
Alan
You
some
can do it.
lessons. Sharon said the ending was great. Alan was a good baddie. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I agree. Like for me, the ending, I was bumbling through it a little bit after the garment bag incident because it just was going on a little bit, but that ending sold it for me. I really liked it, and I like the reveal. I like that we got two reveals: the Callie and
The
Alan.
false
Definitely,
reveal, not the real
yeah,
reveal, but like, yeah,
yeah,
not the
yeah.
murder reveal, but yeah.
Yeah, I liked that, and I thought for a point horror, I
I
thought
almost
this.
thought that she was lying and she was like leading her, like, yeah, okay, I
Yeah.
did that. And I was like, what if she turns? She's like, no, I was really trying to kill you too.
Ha ha. Oh dear. But yeah, I kind of like that little double twist, which
Hmm.
doesn't normally happen in a point horror. We normally just get the flat out twist, don't we? So yes, that was different. So overall, then that's been the plan. Dustin, Narissa said, "Yeah, Narissa." So overall, where does this rank in your like Nightmare Hall scale of the ones that we've read so far?
It's one of the better ones.
Hmm.
Um, I would say out of the six, I'm gonna grade them 1 through 6. Like as far as
Yeah.
six
Yeah.
being worst, number one being the best, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
I will put this maybe at 3.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 3. I'll give it the third.
Yeah.
Out of the 6, I'll put it top 3 so far.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just trying to think of mine. So we had Silent Scream. Yeah, The Roommate. Yeah, I'd probably put it on a par for me with The Roommate. Which was it's not my favourite, but it was readable. But if that
Hmm.
ending didn't happen, I think I would have been like, oh, I found a point horror that I didn't fully enjoy, apart from the garment bag incident.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was fun, and the ending just sold it. I
I
loved
think
it.
my favorite has been, I mean, I like the Silent Scream because it was the beginning one, but my
Mm,
favorite next to that would be The Wish.
yeah,
Simply
because it
because it
was
really went
different.
full blown supernatural,
Yeah,
crazy, wild, like her being trying to be pulled out off onto the balcony and all
yeah,
that stuff. I'm like, what is going on? Because I was not prepared for it in a Nightmare Hall book, and I think that's what it was. It went full
yeah,
blown supernatural, where everything else has just been like slasher, and this was
yeah.
like crazy. And I was like, oh yeah, I like that. So I think The Wish was
Mm.
probably one of my favorites, simply because it went in a completely different direction. So,
Yeah, yeah, I agree on that. It was totally different to what we expected. And then
hmm,
then straight after the wish you had like the Scream Team, which was back to your usual. And they did try and do a bit of supernatural in that, but didn't pay off
yeah.
quite as
That
well.
one was kind of like yeah, because they had like
Yeah,
the red lady or
the
something,
Red
whatever that
Lady.
was,
Yeah, that's it.
and it was some like, is somebody dressing up as them? Is it a fake false ghost thing? We didn't know,
Yeah.
and
No,
I kind of
that's
was like,
it.
I'm over it. I like the witch better, but
Yeah.
this was good. I thought this was good. The cover's dumb as this one, yeah,
Yeah, don't make
because she's
sense,
not in
does
an
it?
aquarium. Um, they have windows in the pool, guys. Um,
Also, how that pool was deep, right? Because look how far his like arms
I
down.
know.
Oh,
Well, it's
and
Olympic
he's
pool. Olympic pools are
naked.
really deep.
Look at them muscles. Look at muscly Alan.
Yeah. But no,
Yeah.
so like well, you can see the top of the water's right here. If you really look, you can see that's the
Yeah.
top of the water. And she's trying to but it's Olympic pool, so they're really deep because the diving and whatnot. So
Yeah. I just hope if ever I get dragged down in a pool, I look so sophisticated like that, going, "Help." We can all live in hope.
her foot is right there. She could kick him right in the face. Anyway. It's
Oh
free foot
dear.
right there. Uh
um, Bucky Lottie said, I loved the Cassie reveal. She was so angry, and a few minutes later they were buddies again. Matthew said, I was hoping for more deaths. They don't kill enough people in these YA books from the 90s. Yeah, so true. Or the point horror ones, anyway.
well, same thing
Speed,
for Fear Street.
yeah. Speed Rating said, I enjoyed this one. Lena said, me too. Sharon said, the wish was so good. Matthew said, this was my first Nightmare Hall, so I can't compare it yet. Oh, when you've read some more, let us know.
Yeah.
Um, Matthew said, but next month will be the 1 year point for me coming to the chat. Yay! And I've had a ball
Hey.
in the last year, everybody. Oh, yeah! Thanks, Matthew. Lewis said, thanks for a fab chat, guys. Definitely convinced me to give this one another go. Oh, yeah, I'm so pleased. And obviously, yeah, as Sharon said, wonderful to see you, Dustin. And yeah, she's put see you on YouTube. Oh, I love that hat. So cool,
See me on
Dustin.
YouTube. The rewatch recap.
Yeah. Do
This is my
it. Do
rewatch
it.
recap.
I love that. That's so cool. But oh, Dustin, it's been so good to like have you back on like for the movie chat last week and like this chat. It's been so brilliant. And you've got to come back
Yeah.
next year and do Nightmare Hall
Oh yeah.
again.
I'm not
Yeah.
getting rid of my handle or anything. And every so often, rarely I will pop on just to look around and see stuff, but I'm not gonna I don't want
Yeah.
people thinking I'm there. I probably won't say anything, but I might look
Yeah.
around
You
a
just
little
have a
bit.
little
So
look, a little mooch.
yeah,
Yeah.
get in.
Oh, but yeah, thanks, Dustin. And yeah, do go check out Dustin on over on YouTube and on the podcast as well. And thanks for bearing
Hmm.
with me while I reset my internet at the beginning, because now this chat has gone on very, very
I'm
long.
waiting for that. Isn't it supposed to do things? Your hand
I can
movements.
never get it to do it.
It never does it when you want it to.
No. It
When
just does it random. I don't know. I don't know.
it doesn't know.
Random. Oh, and thanks everyone who's joined in and read this book as well and chatted in the comments. And yeah, we'll
Thank you
see you next
guys.
month. I've got a jam-packed October. Yeah.
Get
I'll put
ready.
I'll put everything up next. No, this week. Yeah, it's October this week, right?
Yeah,
Coming
it
up. Yeah.
starts. Yeah, Wednesday.
So I'll put everything up soon.
And
But
happy
yeah,
fall, everybody, because it's now officially
happy
fall.
fall! Yeah! All right, guys. Thanks, Justin. Love you lots. Mwah! And come
Mwah.
back
Thank you
again
guys.
soon. See you later.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.